So this guy, his name's Mwangi. And Mwangi has a big problem. He's about to be rich. So why is that a big problem? Well, Mwangi, he's 51. He lives in Nakuru, Kenya. And one day, he gets this crazy email. The email is from a lawyer in London, and this lawyer lets Mwangi know that one of his distant relatives in the UK has passed away and that he's in line for a massive inheritance, about 4 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, I've talked about Mwangi before. I told his story back in 2023, but there have been some updates. So before I give you the update, give me a subscription and a like. That's the only reward you can give me, and let me get you up to speed. Back in 2023, Mwangi learns about this inheritance, and he is ecstatic. Because who wouldn't be? That's 4 billion shillings. So he starts planning out in his head how he's going to spend it. He's going to buy a huge piece of land in Naivasha, start his own matatu business, and maybe even open an auto repair shop. Now, Mwangi has a long-time girlfriend, this woman, Wanjiku. They've been together for 10 years, living together in the same house. And Wanjiku is just as excited as he is. She's already talking about all the things they'll do: buy a car, build a big house, travel to Dubai. But here's the thing about Wanjiku. She loves Mwangi, but Mwangi, he isn't really feeling her anymore. In fact, once he gets his inheritance, he plans on leaving her. And he's confided in a few of his close friends about this plan. Now, word gets around, and one day, someone close to Wanjiku tips her off about it. That once Mwangi gets his money, he's out of the relationship. And Wanjiku is furious. She has been with this man for 10 years, endured all his ups and downs, and she feels like she's entitled to a share of that inheritance. Now, Kenya doesn't have common law marriage, but in Wanjiku's mind, they've been together for so long that she should be considered his wife. And so, she starts thinking, if Mwangi were to, accidentally pass away after signing the paperwork, all that money would go to her. And so she comes up with a plan to get rid of Mwangi before he can leave her. In order for Mwangi to claim the inheritance, he needs to sign a bunch of documents. The lawyer has arranged to fly into Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, where Mwangi will meet him, sign the papers, and get his billions. So Wanjiku thinks, what if something happens to Mwangi? What if he gets sick just after signing the paperwork? She decides to poison him. On the morning of his trip to Nairobi, Wanjiku pours a little antifreeze into his uji, porridge, the one he always drinks before leaving the house. And if you don't know, antifreeze has a slightly sweet taste, but it's deadly. Mwangi drinks it, completely unaware. A few hours later, Wanjiku, Mwangi, and some of Mwangi's friends head to Nairobi for the big moment. They get to the airport and are waiting for the lawyer. But as they wait, Mwangi suddenly starts feeling sick. Stomach pains hit him hard, and with every passing minute, he gets worse. His friends are concerned. They ask if he needs to go to the hospital, but Mwangi refuses. There's 4 billion shillings at stake. He's not leaving. He insists on waiting. More time passes. The London lawyer doesn't show up. Maybe the flight got delayed. But by this time, Mwangi is in bad shape. He can't even walk properly. His friends insist they need to take him to the hospital, but Wanjiku brushes it off. No, it's probably just food poisoning, she says. He'll be fine. His friends aren't convinced, but they take him home instead, hoping he'll recover. Meanwhile, Wanjiku stays behind at the airport, still waiting for the lawyer. But the lawyer never arrives. A whole day passes, and Mwangi is still in bed, unconscious. At this point, Wanjiku realizes that things have gone too far. She calls an ambulance, but by the time they get him to the hospital, it's too late. Mwangi passes away. When Wanjiku gets the news, she puts on an Oscar-worthy performance. Oh my God! Who would do this to him, she wails. He was such a good man. But Mwangi's friends. They are not stupid. They immediately suspect foul play. One of them goes straight to the police. I don't trust her, he tells the officers. I think she poisoned him. Other friends tell police that Wanjiku used to joke about how, if she ever had to get rid of Mwangi, she'd use antifreeze. The police take this information to the pathologist, who runs tests on Mwangi's blood. And guess what they find? Ethylene glycol, the main ingredient in antifreeze. When the police question Wanjiku, she tries to shift the blame. I warned him about his friends, she says. I told him they were dangerous. Maybe one of them did it. But the police aren't buying it. They search the house and find antifreeze in a tea mug, in a soda bottle, even in a container of Blue Band margarine. It's obvious she had been planning this for a while. They arrest her on the spot. And here's where it gets even crazier. Wanjiku thought the inheritance would go to her, but Kenya, just like North Dakota, doesn't recognize common law marriage. She wasn't getting anything. Not a single shilling. And then, the final twist, Mwangi never had an inheritance. The email. It was just a scam. There was no lawyer, no UK relative, no 4 billion shillings. It was all a fraud that Mwangi and Wanjiku fell for. And unfortunately, Wanjiku was dumb enough to kill him over it. Sad, really.